Here we are at Music Twindustry in Brooklyn, New York with Fiona
live
Bloom.
from Great Hair Studios. We're here with Fiona Bloom.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Welcome to the hot seat.
I love it. I've been wanting to do this for so long.
The ADHD show. Yeah, no, it's great to have you here. So,
should I be holding it?
Yeah, you can hold it like a mic. You know, that's what it's for.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we are in the midst of the sweltering New York summer, and it is hot outside. There's the Prospect Park is across the street. No, it's okay. You're good.
I just got off a plane.
Yeah, you're good. Thanks for coming up to see us exclusively for this.
Yeah. Definitely. Just flew in for this.
I really appreciate it. You're in New York. You're working with a client. You're here for the zombies.
Here for the screening, and we get a really special performance with an unplugged with Colin Blunstone.
Really?
Okay,
and
awesome.
Rooney, too, the film's director, Robert Schwartzman.
What does he play? Is he going to do a...
He's singing,
He's
actually.
singing.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll be rad.
Yeah.
So you have like an interesting client base.
I do. It's really diverse.
Okay, so...
What would you say your title is or your headline is for your business? I know you as the Bloom Effect.
Yeah, that's interesting. I always like to say, build the buzz, create the bloom.
Okay. That makes sense.
Because it's buzzing, or everything's about buzz and building and profile.
Yeah, and bees lead to blooming.
Pollinating and...
Pollinating.
Yeah, and cross-pollinating.
Cross-pollinating.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, and I feel like it's sort of the intersection. I like to call myself a builder.
Okay, there you
so
go.
I build communities, build artists' careers.
Right on.
So construction, basically.
Yeah, that's
so
right, okay.
I was working at a record label back then called 0 Hour Records.
I remember. Okay, that's it. Yeah, okay, that's how we met. You were doing PR, I think?
Yeah, actually. I was doing PR.
But you moved around from many labels, and do you want to tell a little bit of your history?
Yeah. So my history goes way back to actually being a musician.
Okay.
I have to say that because a lot of people don't know that.
I didn't know that.
So I was a musician playing the piano and violin.
Do you still play?
I can. When I realized I wasn't going anywhere, I then became a DJ on the radio.
Okay.
So I moved to Atlanta from London, in case you're all wondering why I speak funny.
Yep.
Anyway, so when I moved to Atlanta, because my parents at the time my dad had taken a job in Atlanta, I got onto college radio, WRAS 88.5.
Okay.
Happened to be 100,000 watts, so very powerful.
All my favorite stations exist in the 80s.
So I just became like a wildly popular, DJ on the radio there. Got recruited to commercial radio, which was wild.
Wow.
But I got fired.
Okay.
Because I just couldn't abide to the rules. Imagine that.
Punk.
Kind of
Bit of a punk.
A lot of a punk, actually.
I love it. What was the format? What were you playing?
Well, at commercial...
Contemporary.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. How did you know?
Really? I'm just fucking with you.
Well, it was AC.
Wow,
really? Okay.
I could never do that.
So,
you went from a college radio station to AC.
Did that include like Juice Newton and stuff, or like?
Oh my God! It included everyone. Well, Bryan Adams. I mean, some of the stuff was decent. Bonnie Raitt.
Right.
Bryan
Were you an
Adams,
on-air
etc.
personality there?
I was.
Oh, wow.
I did overnights there,
Amazing.
and also assistant music director. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I did the voiceovers for a lot of the ads.
Amazing.
Nice.
Anyway, so after getting fired from there, I just had such a taste and a thirst for radio and a face for radio.
Right.
That I realized, you know what, I want to continue down this path, but nobody was going to hire me because unfortunately, once you get fired from commercial radio in that market in Atlanta, it was very difficult to get another commercial
I can
gig.
imagine, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks.
I was blackballed, basically.
Okay.
So I went on to community radio.
Okay.
After college and then commercial, what do you do next? Community radio makes sense, right? So I got into not 88, but still in the 80s.
Yeah.
Got into 89.3 FM.
Okay.
Amazing community station. Didn't have the watts that 88 had, but still, was heard down the street.
Okay.
And I had a very popular hip hop show.
Amazing.
So I went from basically alternative radio, college radio, to AC commercial radio, to being forced to play that stuff, to hip hop.
That's
because
cool.
again, being the punk rocker that I am.
What a nice arc.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I loved hip hop. I kind of discovered it as I went along.
Yeah.
But when I was at 88.5, I have to give props to Rhythm and Vibes because there was an amazing hip hop show.
Okay.
Randall Moore and Talib Shabazz. So I used to be a fly on the wall at their show. And that's kind of how I learned all the hip hop stuff.
Amazing.
And so it was fun.
Okay. Awesome. And then how did you end up in New York?
Yeah. So I was also doing parties on the side and also had a local PR agency called Bloom PR, I think it was.
All right.
And because community radio wasn't paying the bills.
Right.
I was making maybe $5 a week. So Daniel Glass, does that name ring a bell?
Yeah,
of course it does.
Absolutely.
I know. He was an EMI chrysalis at the time, and he would come down to Atlanta a lot because he had signed artists like Follow for Now, Arrested Development, Joy, Dallas Austin, and many others.
Right.
So he saw me in a couple of the clubs, and I think he was just sort of observing me from afar, and just liked the way I maneuvered and weaved in and out of different fabrics.
Right.
Mainly in black culture, being a white woman, being a white Jewish woman, being a white British Jewish woman.
Right.
So I think he was intrigued by all of that.
Yeah, man.
And he offered me a job to come to New York.
To do what?
Marketing.
Oh, wow.
Street marketing.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I packed up my bags.
Yeah.
Didn't know what to expect. And January the 2nd, 1994, threw myself into Chrysalis EMI.
So street marketing back then was really fun. It was like sniping everything, and you see kids jump out of like moving cars and like staple 30 posters all the way to the top of like a telephone pole, and like they got paid based on how much they bombed the city, right?
Yeah.
Right, so it was like, I love in real life marketing. I love when I get off the subway and it's like wrapped with some artist or something like that. I'm like, that still matters.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for us, it was like getting out of planes and helicopters, like skydiving, you know. I mean, the craziest things you'll ever see, spaceships floating down.
I love it.
But like you said, yes, just wrapped buses, wrapped cars.
Yeah, it's insane.
You know.
I still think that matters. I mean, it's like we're in a digital world right now, and there's like, we're running ads and, you know, doing things on social media. And like, it's like, come on, man. Like, the things that impact me are the things that I can see and touch.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I still love to give out handouts, flyers,
yeah, I do too.
stickers.
We're a big believer in the D2C, direct-to-consumer
100%.
thing. Build your mailing list, you know, talk to your fans specifically and directly. Give them stuff that's exclusive.
Yeah, I'm not going to shout out the name because I hate to blow up the spot here.
Yeah.
But one of the venues here in New York, a really well-established, great one in the East Village. That's all I'm going to say. Actually, I was asking them, hey, you know, I want to do some flyers. I want to get a street team hired for an event that we're going to be doing in October. Who are you using?
Yeah.
And I was floored when they actually responded back to me and said, hey, you know, we haven't used physical street teams in like 10 years.
You know, it's funny.
It's a club. I couldn't believe it.
It's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Analog is still very powerful.
Absolutely. I mean, fans are fiending for that product.
Yeah, no,
they
I
want
agree.
the physical, and it's limited too. And they feel like it's collectibles.
Yeah. That's why the vinyl market is getting big again. And even CDs are coming back.
And cassettes.
Yeah, I love cassettes.
Yeah.
I love cassettes. I still have a tape player somewhere
I
in
do.
storage.
Yeah.
You definitely do, Joel.
Yeah.
I think you have one of mine.
What's the last cassette you played?
Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon.
Mine was the Beat Street soundtrack
Okay.
because I have it. Yeah.
Mine was
Street Breakdown.
Mine was Hyrule Imperium. Del the Funky.
Amazing. EMI, did it turn into SBK or what?
Yeah, so it was Chrysalis SBK. I was more on the Chrysalis side, so
Okay.
I was working with Gangstar, Diggable Planets, Pendulum.
Those are awesome records.
Sharon Nelson, the Soul Sonics. So a lot of the street, more alternative stuff, you know, that's what they gave me.
That's awesome.
And I loved it. I just went out to all the clubs. I was on the road all the time. In fact, one of the best memories I have is when the Fugees were just starting out. It was a Queen Latifah tour with the Fugees and my band, the Soul Sonics.
Amazing.
So I was on the road with them in late 1994 before the Fugees really blew up.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, that
So-
first album didn't do great.
Right.
It was the second, the score, that really put them on the map.
Exactly. But it was great to watch them sort of
Absolutely
build and
No, they were
develop
great. That
under
first
my
album's
eyes.
pure hip hop.
Yeah.
Second album's like more of a pop record, but still amazing.
Yeah, and when you watch Lauryn Hill perform back then in 1994, you knew she was the star back then.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked at Columbia Records and I handled all the Rough House stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So I was there, like, watching, you know, signing budgets. I wasn't doing anything other than hanging out in the studio and signing budgets.
Right.
You know, but I got to be there. You know, that was cool.
And that's the Philly connection you and I actually have, because when I went to school in Philly, I didn't talk about that part
you
either
didn't.
as a
Where'd you go to
musician.
school?
Philadelphia College of Performing Arts,
wow.
PCPA, now College of Performing Arts.
Yeah, we know where that is, on Broad Street.
Yeah, and at the time I was trying so hard to get a Butcher Brothers Rough House job.
Yeah.
So I actually had meetings with Joe Nicolo.
Yeah,
and who was the other
Chris
guy?
Schwartz.
Yes, Chris.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I first heard your name.
Probably.
But then we actually met in New York when you were at college.
Yeah, I was the young kid signing their budgets.
Crazy.
Like amazing. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. I got to be a fly on the wall, and I got to observe all this amazing hip hop coming out and things they were doing, and going to Philly.
And
the Roots were incredible.
Yeah.
We were from Philly, so we watched the Roots.
Absolutely.
Scott Storch and all those guys do their thing.
Jill Scott, Jazzy Jeff.
Yeah, it was an incredible music scene.
Schoolie D.
I got to work with Schoolie D 3 or 4 years ago. He just texted me over the weekend and sent me some weird video, and he's like, "I've shot this in a 7-Eleven parking lot." I'm like, "Of course you did."
Will you please text him and say Fiona B said what's up?
I will for sure.
I'll
reconnect you guys.
So Joel, what was your part of Philly? You were doing graphics at the time, right?
Yeah, Jason and I were throwing raves.
Yeah.
In sketchy warehouses, and I lived
putting out punk records,
and I lived under the Ben Franklin Bridge in a very cheap apartment,
which is now not so cheap anymore.
Yeah, now it's probably like $8,000 or something.
Yeah, it's a Soho.
It was really kind of like I was there on my own. Jason had just left. I moved back from Japan. I was living in Japan for like a half a year.
Okay.
Jason was just got his job offer from Columbia. He split the apartment. The loft we had was empty. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to move back in.
Yeah.
Did some flyers and raves out of Philly, and did a lot of graphic design, mainly like club flyers, rave flyers, and then got into before that I was doing packaging and stuff, and then so continued that, and then Jason was like, hey, it's about around 96. One winter morning, we got the bright idea to move to New York, and we already were prepared to do this, but we had managed to cop our friend's loft on 24th and
He was
6th.
Moving out, we moved in.
Yeah, it was like a seamless transition, and we moved into this massive space, and it all started in Philly, and we kept doing parties in Philly, and we kept
doing it in New York.
Yeah.